On this edition of City Focus, we see highlights of National Community Development Week. The City of Valdosta announced how you can win a Historic Preservation Award. The Valdosta Fire Department honored its junior fire marshals. Find out what the city is planning for Georgia Cities Week. Valdosta Government 1 begins teaching a new class about city government. And find out when the Valdosta Police Department is hosting its open testing for new police officers. These stories and more on this edition of City Focus. Welcome to City Focus. I'm Marcus McConico, the media coordinator for the City of Valdosta. This is the 7th episode of City Focus in 2018. City Focus is your source for what's happening within your government. These are the most important topics that are happening in the city. Recently, the Valdosta Fire Department honored their junior fire marshals at an award ceremony at Mathis Auditorium.
This is wrapping up for our final school years. And we know that's not the end of their school year, but we reward all the kids for all the efforts that they've done throughout the year, how they assisted the fire department, and how they are such a blessing to us because they make everything work for us.
This group of students is involved with educating their peers and raising funds for the Burn Foundation.
We have it every year where schools, they're not in real competition, but what it is they're working within the community. They assist us with the boot drive for the Burn Foundation, and they do their own fundraising efforts. They are a big help to us. They also work inside the school system. Right, Summer?
Yes.
You do fire drills, correct? And you had to teach a safety class.
They are leaders in their school and in the community.
They're learning about safety, and that also gives them something that they're proud of doing. And they're proud of representing the fire department because with the fire department, we're one big team, right, Summer?
Yes, sir.
For more information, contact the Valdosta Fire Department. The City of Valdosta celebrated National Community Development Week, April 2nd through April 6th. The week is to showcase the projects created by the CDBG funds.
This funding, which right now we're sitting probably a little bit above $500,000 a year that we receive in our entitlement funding, it's very important to the city because this is $500,000 that are not set aside in general fund that the city receives to do the activities that we do. We understand that there is an importance to the activities that we do. And if the city had to try and figure out how to put the money needed to these activities that are needed for the city and for their citizens, it would be really difficult.
The city depends on these funds for many purposes: home rebuilds, cleanup days, job services, student development, road work, and others. Changes at the federal level could affect these local programs.
A lot of communities across the nation, this is not just a thing that's applicable to Valdosta, it's not applicable to just Georgia. This is nationwide. When there are threats that this money is going to go away or that it gets decreased significantly for a lot of communities, it means that a lot of communities don't have those services anymore.
The city fights for these federal funds each year in order to improve our city.
We're very fortunate that we are still able to receive those dollars each year as an entitlement community, but we are on the cusp every single year when it's time to do that government budget in Washington.
For more information on the importance of CDBG funds, contact Neighborhood Development. The Valdosta Police Department, like many law enforcement departments, are constantly recruiting new officers.
National shortage of police officers, and that's pretty much nationwide. People are constantly, changing professions, moving from the area, transferring to other agencies. People are coming to us, that sort of thing. And so there's always, when you get this many people. You constantly got people coming and going, so that's just pretty normal. But I've talked to several recruiters all over the state and several across the country. Everybody's pretty much got the same problem.
In the past, many officers have come into the department and retired there, but things are changing for the law enforcement field.
They've done several national studies on that, and I think the average lifespan of an officer, whereas you would almost always have officers doing their 20 or their 25, same as the military, and securing a pension, securing retirement, that sort of thing. We're not seeing that near as much. Average lifespan of an officer is only like between 4 or 5 years.
These are all reasons that the department is scheduling open testing regularly, with the next one coming during the last week of April.
April 28th, it'll be on a Saturday morning, same place we always have it, 300 North Lee Street, which is the City Hall Annex building. It is open testing. Anyone can show up and take the test. We certainly welcome that. Have to bring $15 in cash, which is what it costs to score the test. We don't make any money off of it. Bring your photo ID. Doors will open at 8:30 a.m. and they will lock at 9 a.m. No one can be admitted after that.
For more information, contact the Valdosta Police Department. The 2018 class of Valdosta Government 101 began on April 2nd, with people willing to learn the ins and outs of local government.
I decided to take the Valdosta Government 101 Citizens Orientation class to learn more about the local government and also to see where my place in the community is, to find a place and then to go straight in and serve.
Tyler is trying to find a way to get involved and volunteer his time for a board or commission.
Real main purpose to come here is to learn more about the commissions and the authorities and the different boards, because I know there are some vacant seats. So I definitely want to look forward to getting in there and serving and serve Valdosta's community.
He is a freshman at VSU and believes what he will learn in the class will benefit him and the community in the future.
Well, we are going to be the future leaders of our country, of our state, and of our communities. So it's really important that we already have that active voice, kind of learn and get the wisdom from the older generation so we can lead the community.
For more information, contact the Public Information Office. The City of Valdosta has 11 vacancies for boards, commissions, authorities, and advisory committees. The following openings are Greater Lowndes Planning Commission, 1 appointment. Keep Lowndes Valdosta Beautiful, 1 appointment. Public Art Advisory Committee, 3 appointments. Valdosta Housing Authority, 1 residential appointment. Valdosta Housing Board of Adjustments and Appeals, 2 appointments. Valdosta Lowndes County Airport Authority, 1 appointment. Valdosta Lowndes County Parks and Recreation Authority, 1 appointment. Valdosta Lowndes County Zoning Board of Appeals, 1 appointment. All forms may be downloaded at the city's website and should be submitted to City Clerk Teresa Bolden by 5 p.m. on Wednesday, May 2nd.
$145 over $92.
180 over 111.
182 over 100. And I had a heart attack and a cardiac arrest, and then a stroke.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. You might not feel its symptoms, but the results from a heart attack or stroke are far from invisible or silent.
My memory is shot.
When I woke up, I couldn't speak.
I can't button up a shirt. I can't run.
I've had to learn to swallow again.
That's the only moments that I have. And I'm 33, so I never see this coming.
If I would have followed a treatment plan, I would not be in this situation.
Had I done this, had I done that, hell, I messed up.
Get back on your plan, or talk with your doctor to create an exercise, diet, and medication plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
Head to toe, everything's changed. Head to toe.
Welcome back to City Focus. I'm here at the Crescent, sitting on the porch with James Horton, our Historic Preservation Coordinator. And he's going to talk to us a little bit about Historic Preservation Month, which is going to be the month of May. What exactly is Historic Preservation Month, and how are we celebrating it?
Historic Preservation Month, Marcus, is a month-long celebration every single year, sponsored by the National Trust for Historic Preservation, and it's a way that we can celebrate our historic buildings and properties and historic homes and things like that on a local level. And the way that we're going to do that is through a theme that's been set up by the National Trust for Historic Preservation. And I'm going to hold this up. It's called This Place Matters. And you can print one of these down on the internet and from the National Trust site. And you can cut it out and put it on a little stick like I've done here. And then you can stand in front of a place that's historic, like the Crescent that we're in front of right now, and photograph yourself, and then you can download that photograph to a site on the National Trust or to your favorite social media, and then everyone can see it, and it will show how we value the Crescent or your historic house that you live in, or a beautiful building somewhere in your community like a historic courthouse or a library or museum or something like that.
Now, and one other thing that we do every year is the Brown Bag Lunch Concert Series.
Oh, yes.
Tell us a little bit about it and how that goes with historic preservation.
Right. We use the Brown Bag Lunch Concert Series every year in the month of May to help celebrate the National Historic Preservation Month. And so what we do is we set up on the courthouse square every day, and this year's dates are May 7th through the 11th. That's a Monday through a Friday. There'll be a different band every single day, so we'll have great music. There'll be food available to purchase. There'll be snow cones by the Main Street office given away free. So there'll be lots of food and fun and music, and we'll be there on the historic courthouse square in historic downtown Valdosta, celebrating National Historic Preservation Month in the beautiful downtown setting that's been there since about 1895. So we're going to celebrate downtown Valdosta during the month of May through the Brown Bag Concert Series. And we'll have a little table there sponsored by the Valdosta Heritage Foundation, so you can pick an application to join the Heritage Foundation or the Historical Society, or you could meet someone there and talk about historic preservation if you'd like to do that as well.
Okay. And now you also have the Historic Preservation Awards that are going to be given out during that month.
Yes, absolutely. The Historic Preservation Commission, which is a volunteer organization sponsored by the City of Valdosta, is the kind of the keeper of historic preservation here in Valdosta, and they do a lot of activities throughout the year, and one of those is sponsoring the annual Historic Preservation Awards for Valdosta every year. And the application, which I have here in my hand, is available right now, and anyone can pick it up, and you can nominate a building that is in the in the local historic district. Let's don't get those confused. But in the local historic district where there's been a rehabilitation project, you can nominate a local Valdosta project for an award. And we've got several different categories. For instance, we have Outstanding Achievement for a large rehabilitation project. We have a Distinguished Merit for a smaller rehabilitation project of a historic building. We have a Stewardship Award. And a stewardship, for example, would be like the Crescent. The Crescent's been maintained and preserved and owned and kept beautiful for the City of Valdosta for 60 years now by the garden clubs, the 7 garden clubs that maintain this building. So they would be a steward of this beautiful property here. Then we also have Excellence in New Construction, and that means a new building that's built within the historic district that's compatible and fits in, and it just works right in with the historic buildings that are already there. And so that would be a New Construction Award. And then we have the Harold Bennett Lifetime Achievement Award, and that's an award for a person, a person who's been a historic preservation partner here in Valdosta for many years, who's promoted historic preservation, who's loved it, who's taught people about preservation, who's maybe preserved a building or several buildings of their own, who's just been an example for all people in the field and area of preservation. And so that's a huge award, and not very many people have been awarded a Lifetime Achievement by the Harold Bennett Award. But that's a very special presentation every year. Now, those applications are available now, and they'll be due back to my office, which I'm in the Planning and Zoning office in the City Hall Annex. The deadline is April 30th. So please remember, April 30th is the deadline, and we'll be giving those awards out at the City Council meeting, the mayor and the chair of the Historic Preservation Commission, Celine Gladwin, will give those awards out at the May 24th meeting of the City Council.
One final thing we want to talk about is that we have this new thing going with the Roberts House, the oldest house in Valdosta.
Oh, that's
Can you
right.
tell us a little bit about it?
Absolutely. The Roberts House is quite a neat house. It's on Wells Street. It's 206 Wells Street. It is a gigantic old Victorian family home. It's a Queen Anne style house. The original body of the house was built by Mr. Weisenbaker, who was a Valdosta mayor.
Okay.
And he built that house back in the 1840s.
Wow.
And that was many years before Valdosta was even named as a city in 1860. So it was about 20 years difference between when the house was built and when Valdosta became a city. Now, he built a smaller house. Then in the 1890s, a Mr. J.T. Roberts came and bought the house from him, and he put another big house basically over top of the smaller 1840s house. So the 1840s house is there. Then there's a big Victorian Queen Anne style sitting on top of that. So you have two houses, one within the other.
Yeah.
And so we see the Queen Anne style house there from the 1890s. And the Roberts family had that all the way up to 1999. And in 2011, they had a terrible fire.
Yeah.
And the house had a devastating fire in 2011. And they were not even sure if they wanted to build it back, but they decided to preserve it and build it back for the city of Valdosta and for all people to enjoy.
Yes.
And so the house has been preserved, and it is still in an unfinished state. Have about 1 year to complete the interior of the house, and the Valdosta Heritage Foundation has decided that they would like to see the house used as an event center.
Okay.
Because they want it where the public can use it, can go in it, there can be meetings, events, social affairs, maybe weddings, maybe parties, maybe reunions, things like that. They would like for it to be able to be used and enjoyed very similar to the way that the Crescent right here is enjoyed and used and seen by the city of Valdosta and the people who live here.
Well, James, we thank you for telling us all about Historic Preservation Month. We were looking forward to celebrate during the month of May. We also thank the people at the Crescent for allowing us to come and do an interview right on their porch.
Thank you, Marcus. And just let me add one thing. The Crescent is available for tours, so the public can come here on most weekdays, and they can come in and take a tour of the Crescent. So if you've never been in to see this gorgeous house before, it's full of beautiful antiques.
Yes.
It's a beautiful piece of architecture. Valdosta is so lucky to have this. Thank you very much, and we're looking forward to Preservation Month, and I'm going to see you on the Courthouse Square for what?
For Brown Bag Lunch Concert Series.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
All right. And we'll be back right here on City Focus.
I dare you. I dare you to change the world. Yeah, you. Getting that college education. I dare you to be somebody important. Like be a teacher or a reality TV star. I dare you to stand up here. To call the shots. To be a role model.
An inspiration. An innovator.
To be a teacher. Think you can change my life? Make me excited about science like you? Have a career that really means something? Then do it. I dare you.
I call you and say, I'm with the IRS. You owe back taxes, and if you don't pay today, you're going to jail. You can fix this by sending cash. Did you actually believe me? Too smart to fall for it? Well, last year, Americans paid $100 million to guys like me. 1 in 6 people were scammed. Can you believe it? Well, you shouldn't. I just made that up, too. You are a little gullible.
The South Georgia Coalition for Employment will host its 3rd annual job fair on April 26 from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the James H. Rainwater Conference Center. The job fair is a collaboration of the City of Valdosta and several area sponsors who have combined their efforts and resources to help reduce unemployment throughout the region. Police Chief Brian Childress requests that organizations consider hiring people who may have a criminal record, but working toward building back their lives. The event is open to all people seeking employment. Valdosta Main Street and VLPRA will host Outdoor Family Movie Night on April 21st on the lawn of historic Lowndes County Courthouse. Celebrate Earth Day and Georgia Cities Week downtown with a free showing of Finding Dory.
We'll be showing Finding Dory for our Outdoor Family Movie Night, which is going to kick off Georgia Cities Week and Earth Day weekend, and it'll be on Saturday, April 21st. The movie will start at sunset, which I believe is going to be about 7:30, but you can come out as early as 6 and get your spot on the ground.
For more information, contact Valdosta Main Street. The City of Valdosta is teaming up with the Turner Center for the Arts for the 10th Annual People's Choice Photo Contest, sponsored this year by Coleman Talley. This year, there is $600 in cash awards for photos celebrating city life. A 10th annual opening reception will be held at the Turner Center for the Arts on June 11th from 5 to 7 p.m. You'll get the chance to vote for your favorite photos from June 11th through July 11th. The winners will be chosen and announced at the reception on July 17th. Photos will be on display until July 25th. Entries may be submitted online, mailed, or hand-delivered to the Arts Center or the Valdosta City Public Information Office by Thursday, May 31st, 2018. The photos must be taken within Valdosta city limits. For more information, you can contact the Annette Howell Turner Center for the Arts at 229-247-2787 or the city's Public Information Office at 229-259-3548. The City of Valdosta is preparing to celebrate Georgia Cities Week during the last week of April.
Each year during the last week of April, cities across the state of Georgia celebrate or observe Georgia Cities Week. And this year the theme is Georgia Cities in the Spotlight.
Georgia Cities Week is a time to celebrate all the great cities in the state of Georgia.
As a city, as a community, we observe Georgia Cities Week because it's a great time of the year to focus on some of the things that make our community worth living in. It makes us happy to get up and start our day, go to work, have a career, raise your family here, retire, enjoy the quality of life things that are in the community.
The week will be full of activities hosted by the city to honor Valdosta.
Locally, we're going to do things like Job Shadow Day. We're going to show our students in the area what great careers that they can have in local government. We're going to have a time where we appreciate those 600 people that work for the City of Valdosta and the services that they provide year-round to our citizens and our guests that come to our community. We also will have something that celebrates the film industry, a customer service appreciation day. We have a great film on the lawn downtown so you can bring your families out and have a great time in downtown Valdosta.
For more information, contact Public Information. Now let's take a look at what's taking place in the city in the coming weeks. April 10th, Central Valdosta Development Authority Board Meeting, 5 p.m. in the City Hall Annex Multipurpose Room. April 12th, VPD Community Forum, 6 p.m., VLPRA Facility. April 16th, Valdosta Housing Authority Meeting, 12 p.m. at 610 East Ann Street. Keep Lowndes Valdosta Beautiful Board Meeting, 5:30 at the City Hall Annex Engineering Conference Room. Government 101 Citizens Orientation Program. April 17th, Valdosta Lowndes County Development Authority Meeting, 5:30 at 103 Roosevelt Drive. April 18th, Hospital Authority of Valdosta and Lowndes County meeting, 8 a.m. at the Executive Boardroom at SGMC. Valdosta Lowndes County Parks and Recreation Authority meeting, 4:30 at 1901 North Forest Street. April 19th, Deep South Solid Waste Authority meeting, 6 p.m. at 327 West Savannah Avenue. Public Art Advisory Committee meeting, 11:30 at the Turner Center for the Arts. Valdosta Youth Council meeting, 4 p.m. in Council Chambers. Valdosta City Council meeting, 5:30 in Council Chambers. April 20th, Back to School Collaboration meeting, 1 p.m. at the City Hall Annex Engineering Conference Room. April 21st, Bulk Trash Amnesty Day, beginning at 8 a.m. at the Public Works Department. Great American Cleanup, 8:30. Volunteers meet at 8:30 a.m. at the Lee Street parking lot. Outdoor Family Movie Night, 7:30 p.m. on the lawn of historic Lowndes County Courthouse. April 22nd, Earth Day,
April 22nd through 28th, Georgia Cities Week.
To stay informed with what's happening in the city, sign up for the weekly e-news blast at valdostacity.com/public-information or call public information officers at 229-259-3548. Earlier in the show, we showed you another class of Valdosta Government 101 starting to learn about the city. Government 101 is just one of the many programs that the city has to educate its citizens. The Citizens Police Academy begins in April, with another class along with Citizens Fire Academy starting in the fall. This concludes another edition of City Focus. Be sure to visit our website, valdostacity.com. Like us on Facebook, Valdosta City Without Limits. Also like our Valdosta Youth Council page. Follow us on Twitter at City of Valdosta, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Metro 17 Valdosta, to watch City Focus on demand. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time here on City Focus.